Boxing Voice here with two-time world champion Carlos El Famoso Hernandez. You're residing out of San Antonio now, but you're going back to your roots, back to your home in California. You got a special day coming up on October 22nd. Tell us what you got going on.
That's the day they induct me into the Boxing Hall of Fame, California Boxing Hall of Fame, and I'm very excited, very happy. It's a dream come true. I've always wished to be inducted into the California Boxing Hall of Fame, and especially because I'm from there and being brought up near the Olympic Auditorium and seeing these guys fight out of there, and now my name will be among those guys' names. It's a big thing.
Yeah, you were part of that era. I mean, it's still the hotbed, but in your heyday, that's when everybody was really going after everybody. The gyms, I mean, there wasn't really as much politics going on there. Everybody just fought everybody, you know, head up, straight up. So, you know, what does that mean to you, seeing that maybe these fighters today can see something like that and getting inspired that, you know, maybe I could be a little bit more old school, be a little bit more like Carlos Famoso Hernandez?
Oh, thanks, buddy. Well, the thing is, that's what I try to instill into my fighters is, I mean, we have to be smart in the game, obviously, but let's fight whoever there's possible to make money and to be champion. That's the goal. We want to be champion. We want to fight the best. That's what boxing is, and I mean, I think I've proven that in my career. I think I've fought the best in my era, in my division, and so I can't put my head down. I'm happy, even though I lost those fights. I mean, I still won some of those fights as well, and I want my fighters to do that because I know what's going on right now in boxing. It's killing and hurting boxing, where people are not fighting each other. I mean, it's more of a business than passion. And before it was passion and business, but now it's just business.
And do you think that's a dynamic that fighters are really missing out on? Because we see fighters like Tyson and Chavez, and you know, they have that legacy, so they're able to, you know, still capitalize on that. When fighters today, they're just thinking check, and that's it. I mean, and so it could be short money to these guys in the long run. But I mean, what's the difference in dynamic when you see that and you see the fighters today, and you know, really making a lot of demands? And I understand making demands, but making demands out in public, not in a conference room on negotiation.
I mean, that's the mentality nowadays. It's all about how much money you can make that one fight, and that's it. All they care about is training. From what I see, is they're training for that one big payday, and that's it. They're not fighting for a long career. They don't want that legacy. I don't believe maybe they do, but at the end they get caught up into the business, and it's kind of hard to see some of these guys that are left out and they're not fighting. They're becoming stale, and they're not becoming that big like Israel Vasquez and Rafa Marquez. They had the trilogy, 3 beautiful fights, and that's what makes them legends. And you don't have much of that anymore. I mean, you have Pacquiao and Mayweather, but they're already old school now.
Exactly, and even them, they were only fighting twice a year, and it took them 5.5 years to fight each other. But moving on to your fighters, you are making a really good impact on their fundamentals and bringing them up. We saw with the work you're doing with Javier Rodriguez, who had a setback, came back. Now he's a Latin featherweight champion. So, what can you tell us about the fighters you got now, and you know where they're at in their eyes as far as where you want them to be?
Well, I mean, right now, thank God that with Javier, we just got ranked number 14 in the world, and so I think that we have to defend that title once or twice, and after that, we want to get the top, crack into the top 10 and fight anybody in the world, so we could prove to them that we belong in that division and be champion of the world.
And it's a team effort when it comes to making fights. Now that he has that strap, and you know, when it goes to the promoter, it goes to the manager, and of course the trainer and the fighter himself. So you know, how much of a role do you think is important as a trainer to give that advice of what fighters and when to take fights, especially since he's a 22-year-old kid?
Well, I want to be personable with him. I want to be not just a friend, but we got to be like family, and that's what we are in the gym. We're family. He trusts me. He trusts what I say, what I tell him, because I mean, I've been there and I know how it is. I don't want to tell him the bad things. I don't want to tell him to do something wrong. I don't want him to lose. I want him to win. So I want to tell him. Well, I think I'm telling him the right thing, and that's why he's been winning. Thank God.
All right, and a bright future, and also Eddie Ortiz. He has a fight coming up in about a week in El Paso. He's got 4 fights under his belt. He's a pretty big stature. He has a lot going for him as far as marketability and talent. What can you tell us about where he's at in your eyes as far as progress?
Well, he's there. He's up and coming, like you said, and he's a guy who's going to be a big name in the next year or so. I really believe in him. He's got really good work ethic and very strong, very long. I like his style because he's a long, tall fighter. He uses his jab. He boxes. I think that's a great attribute for a fighter like him.
All right, going back to the 22nd, you know, I guess the fighters and everybody around you, we're going to be celebrating your accomplishments. You know what I mean? Out in the Mecca, where California is, along with company with Teddy Atlas, Triple G, Mauricio Herrera, fighters of that sort. So, again, what are you expecting out of this, and what do you think this puts you?
Well, more than anything, it just inspires me to be a better trainer, the best trainer that I can be for my fighters, and to now cross over. Now I'm not a fighter anymore, even though I would love to fight, but I'm already old. But I'm old in my heart, my mentality. But because I feel that my time has passed. It's time to pass that knowledge that I have into my fighters and make champions myself.
Cool. Appreciate the time. I mean, that is significant news for people that don't live on the West Coast. Might not know about that. Now they know on the 22nd. So thank you for the time. We're definitely gonna try to make it out to the California Hall of Fame induction. Congratulations.
Thank you.